Good evening, folks. Welcome back to the channel. It's a pleasure to see you. It always is. I hope you're doing well. Quarter-final time in the Winston Salem today. We've got four of the best. Shouldn't take that much of your time. Make sure you get your comments in with your predictions. If there's anything that I'm going for personally, it'll be in that pinned comment where it always is. Feel free to take a look at that. Take it if you want. Leave it if you must. It's entirely up to you. But like the video for me. Get yourself subscribe to the channel if you're not already. We continue to grow each and every day. It'd be an honour to welcome you to the squad. We're hunting down that 3k subs. Will be there very shortly, I'm sure of that. But very well, quick recap. How did we all manage yesterday? Did we enjoy the matches? Yes, no. Did we win? Did we lose? Did we just come close? 1-1 for me. It's alright, I can live with that. I'd have been a bit more happier if Sonego didn't fall out of his arse in that third set, but what are you going to do? What are you going to do? You know, it's a stamina's half the game, innit? I'm not going to complain about that. Very grateful for the win that I did manage to get. Boo for the set, Medjedovic for the set. Could have took the pair of them straight up. But it is what it is. Very grateful for that. Get yourself involved, share with the group, and we shall waste no more time with it, folks. Let's get right into business. Let's get it on. So first off, for us today, we've got Kecmanovic, Sebastian Korda. Should be a decent match. I think it's got the potential to be very interesting indeed. Tough one to predict, I must say. Look, first things first, quick tip of the cap to Sebastian Korda. We haven't seen him for quite some time. Quite a big layoff. Missed quite a lot of tournaments, but now he's back, leading in to the US Open. Couldn't have come at a better time for the American, and he's looked fairly decent. You know, he is so obviously getting back to fitness. You know, is Sebastian Korda back to his full self? Absolutely not. But it's going to take time, and I feel like, given what I've seen so far in the Winston Salem, I could pretty much say he's on his way. He's definitely on his way. Will he get there? Shall remain to be seen, but it looks like he's doing everything you need to do to get back to where Sebastian Korda thinks he should be. Happy days. Happy days. Kecmanovic has been good. You can't say that he hasn't. On paper, the results look sound. I mean, the win against Kovacevic, it was a decent win. Kovacevic possesses more than enough to give him some trouble on the day. But it was pretty easy. He did lose his serve instantly and then got it straight back and then just cranked up the heat. Didn't really give him a chance. Well, he gave him a couple of chances, but Kovacevic just didn't have the minerals to take it. Although I did think Kovacevic would have been good for at least a set, and it was close. It was a close one. It wasn't an absolute beatdown, but we more than identified the problem with that one being the one on the backhand of Kovacevic. You know, you target that. That's exactly what he done. He wouldn't leave it alone. And then exactly what I didn't want to happen just went ahead and happened. Straight sets. Happy days for Kecmanovic, and then he played Luciano Darderi. Remember I was saying in the previous videos about me, I'm very hopeful for Luciano Darderi about there being somewhat of a game on the hard court residing within the Italian. That hope is it's somewhat fleeting at the moment. Fleeting, let's just say that. I don't think he can play on the hard court. He got absolutely bullied by Kecmanovic, and it was not pretty to see. It weren't pretty, I can tell you that. 6-3, 6-1. Nah, I don't like that. That's nasty work. He got absolutely fisted by Kecmanovic. Couldn't do anything. Stood zero chance. I say maybe he's just allergic to the hard court. Maybe it's a surface issue, you know. In Darderi's personalised version of hell, there's no flames and there's no devil. There's only hard courts. So, although that was a decent win too, on paper the result is fantastic. And Kecmanovic did play good too. Well, didn't really need to play good. He just needed to be there. Return the ball. Darderi will do the rest for you. That's exactly what happened. So I'd love to sit here and say he's played fantastic. He's won both his games in straight sets, because he has played decent and he has indeed won both his games in straight sets, but quite a lot of help from both opponents. I don't want to take anything away, but I suppose I kind of am. It is what it is. You've got to do that sometimes. I'm not happy about it, not proud of it, but doesn't really hold that much weight. Doesn't hold as much weight as I thought it may have done. Now, I suppose the question for this one is, the big question. How convinced are we with the fitness of Sebastian Korda? I'm still concerned. I've still got quite a few concerns regarding the fitness of Sebastian Korda. Straight sets in the first one, 3 sets in the second. We've just seen Sonego go 3 sets in the match prior to Munar, and he turned up and looked like absolute shite. Well, he didn't look like it at the start, but he ended up gassing halfway through it, and I haven't really got that many, the expectations for Sebastian Korda. I don't know where they are. I don't know if they're high. I don't even know if they exist for me personally. The fact that he's back is enough. The fact that he's got a win or two is enough for me anyway. Will it be enough for Sebastian Korda? Probably not. He will most definitely fancy himself to have a go in this. I would like to think, given what I've seen against Medjedovic, if he can stand behind that serve, I think Kecmanovic will most definitely give Sebastian Korda chances. Most definitely. It's up to him to take him. But on the flip side to that, I do believe the return game of Kecmanovic may prove to be a little bit more potent than that of, let's say, a Vic Capriva or a Kamil Medjedovic. That's just food for thought. Food for thought. Given what I've seen, I would lean towards an over 22.5. That'd be the only way I'd look on that. Sebastian Korda, I would love to sit here and say he should be winning this match, but the reality is, if he does or he doesn't, the excuse will, if he gets beat, you're going to go to it straight away. Well, he's just come back off his layoff. So maybe just go into the match already knowing that, I don't think I can trust him. 1.7 is very tempting, but I feel like that's exactly what they want you to take. I feel like it's exactly what they want from me to go, Korda 1.7 all day. But I haven't seen enough. I need to see just a little bit more. Just a little bit more. See how he is in this one. See how he holds up. This will be the deal breaker for me, I imagine. If Sebastian Korda looks good against Kecmanovic, he can do what he wants in the semis and the final. I imagine that'll be more than enough for him to go into the US Open. We'll see how he gets on there, but I'd lean towards an over. Probably lean towards Korda for a set. I mean, if things go pear-shaped and it starts going sour, is he going to hang in there and hamper himself? Probably not, especially after the layoff. If he feels anything, if anything's, I'm not going to say not going the way he wants it, but if there's any sort of scare, if there's anything going on with Sebastian Korda during this match today, I'm almost certain he will not hang around to see if it's going to get anywhere. So he'll definitely pull out. So it may just be a bit of a free hit in that regard. If not, I think taking him for a set while the odds are so close should be quite alright with that. Quite alright indeed. Next one was Jami Munar, Martin Fuscovics. I'm really looking forward to this. Feels weird to say, but I am actually really excited to watch this game. These have played each other once before on the grass, 2019, so doesn't really help us much in this one. Doesn't actually help us at all, to be honest with you. Been impressed with both. Of these. I mean, apart from Medjedovic, I think Jami Munar and Martin Fuscovics have been as good as anyone else. To be honest with you. Martin Fuscovics has had to play one extra match than the Spaniard. He beat Hugo Gaston. Had a close game, close but impressive game. Decent performance against Salem Greek Sport, and then comfortable win against Mpetshi. Rather comfortable victory against the Spaniard. Will it be another comfortable victory against another Spaniard for Martin Fuscovics? Possibly. I mean, you're going to have your work cut out for you with Jami Munar at the moment. It's just, I continue to struggle. I don't continue to struggle, but here I am again trying to predict yet another match involving Jami Munar. You never know what you're going to get with this guy. You never know. I've said it all season, and I'll say it again. Potentially, maybe, for the last time in the Winston Salem, but certainly not for the last time of the season. Significant improvements. Fantastic. Significant improvements to his all-round game, importantly, most notably, the hardcore game of Jamie Munar. As a matter of fact, if I'd have told you at the start of the season that Jamie Munar is going to do the majority of his damage on the hard court, you'd have thought I was a fucking idiot. But that's exactly what's happened. 6 and 9 on the clay. That's not very Munarish, is it? That's not like Jamie Munar. 6 and 9 on the clay, 9 and 7 on the hard court, 3 and 1 indoors, 3 and 3 on the grass. Starting to fancy himself as a bit of a hardcore competitor, is he not? Bit of a contrast in styles in this one, I must admit. Quite the contrast in styles. I feel like, Jamie Munar is just going to come at you with the Duracell approach. He doesn't get tired. He's got bags and bags of energy, 3 bags full, sir, tons of the shit. Martin Fuscovics, maybe not so much, but what he does possess is a shit ton of power on the hard court, and I feel like he'll most definitely should be able to hit through Jamie Munar today. I mean, I'm not comparing Munar to Batista Agut. They're quite different, but that doesn't mean there is a few similarities within the game of the pair. Mainly the power. I think that might be very noticeable today. Jamie Munar, he's not exactly the strongest. Doesn't hit the ball the hardest, But I will say this, whatever you give to him, he's probably going to send it back your way. He puts everything back in play, man. I mean, unforced errors, never heard of him. Mate. What the fuck's that? Who's he? He's proven to be hard to beat. He's very deceiving. He's deceivingly good. And if you're going to get yourself into a war with Jamie Munar, you best be in good shape. You better have enough in the tank. Because we've seen what he done to Sonego yesterday. We've seen it. Now, I had Sonego to beat Jamie Munar, and I thought he was going to. It is what it is. He gassed, didn't he? Gassed right out of his ass. Fantastic in the first set. Decent in the second too. Went up a break in the second set. Give it back. Ended up giving him the set. And then whatever happened. I mean, he just fucking shot the bed immensely there, didn't he? Had nothing left to give. Error after error. It became quite pathetic in the end, if I'm being honest with you. Watching Sonego, he was that visibly fucked. He looked terrible out there. And it is what it is. I mean, this happens. He did play a long match prior to the meeting with Jamie Munar, but even still, I can't take anything away from the Spaniard. He hung in there, done exactly what was needed, and he got that one done. I mean, Lorenzo Sonego, though, I mean, come on, that was just, you talk about, we usually say, it began to unravel, or he began to spiral, talk about the wheels falling off. This guy just burst into flames, honest to God, although he didn't cinematically emerge from the fire like Roman Grosjean. He's just sat in there. He's probably still sat in there now, just fucking cooked beyond recognition. Looked really bad. It was a bad way to go out for Sonego. We'll leave it at that. Good shit from Munar. Good shit from Fuscovics. I will say it once again, quite the contrast in styles in this one. You'd look at the hardcore. We'll probably mention this once again for what could be the last time in the Winston-Salem hardcourt record of Martin Fuscovics, although the 3 games he's played in the Winston-Salem are the only 3 that have come on the main draw so far this season. So it's before this tournament it weren't looking too great, but now he's playing good. Kinda doesn't sound as bad as what it did at the start of the tournament. Excuse me. And then Jamie Munar, like we said, 9 and 7. As a whole, probably not as good, not as promising as that of Martin Fuscovics, but every one of them coming on the main draw. I'll give you some of the wins now. You probably know some of them already, but for those that have forgot, or for those that may not necessarily know, Davidovich Fokina, Nuno Borg, Lorenzo Musetti, took a set off Alexander Muller in Hong Kong. He ended up going to win that. Then took, was it a set or 2? 1, 2, 3. Took 2 sets off Casper Ruud in the Australian Open. Ended up getting beat there. Took a set off Nishikori, Indian Wells, over to Miami, Artur Rinderknech, absolutely smoked Daniel Medvedev, 6-2, 6-3. Yeah. Fucking annihilated him. Played Gael Monfils, took a set off him, ended up getting beat. He then beat Marcus Giron, and then Davidovich Fokina got some revenge in Washington, and then it's pretty much, we're all up to date now, aren't we? 1-1 in Toronto, we got beat by Cerundolo, got beat by Commissania in Cincinnati. Fantastic, looked amazing, looked like a top 10 player against Medjedovic, but I hate to be the guy to say it, but we've kind of got to, you know me, I can only be straight up with you folks, I can only be honest. Medjedovic's been fucking crap this season. He's been crap, and it's nearly the end of August, and he's still crap. He's done fuck all. I imagine it'd be rather easy to look good against the current version of Mpetshi. I've seen him do nothing all season. He went in, the audacity to just go and win a title on the hard court on the Challenger while everyone was over in the Masters. I didn't even know it had happened because we were dealing with the Masters. Comes over to Cincinnati and then just gets absolutely dog walked by Jamie Munar. Bullied 6-3, 6-1. Once again, we called that to a T as well, called that to perfection. Everything we said could possibly happen, and everything I feared may happen did. It just, that's exactly how it went. Medjedovic came out, looked good for a game, 2 games, something like that, maybe a game or two, and then it was as if fucking the men in black had just flashed him after the second game, and he was like, oh shit, what am I doing here? Where am I? What even am I? What is this? Round green ball? What? He couldn't play tennis, that's my point. And then the match against Sonego, we've just fucking mentioned that, haven't we? Yeah. Kind of getting off track, but my whole point being, much more impressive wins. I'm much more impressed with the damage Munar has managed to do over on the surface so far this season as opposed to Martin Fuscovics. Maybe the power would be too much. Maybe Fuscovics is just going to outpower him. Maybe Fuscovics is going to get tired and Jamie Munar is just going to run him around the court like he did with Sonego. Tough one. I would like to lean towards yet another over again. I think Martin Fuscovics might come out hot in this one. He might come out hot. I do like him for the set. He is a dog as well. You're getting Jamie Munar around 1.75. This did open up, split down the middle. 1.75 for the Spaniard. Yeah, not much more to be said on that one. I quite like Fuscovics for the set. I don't fancy backing against Jamie Munar at the moment. I really don't. The fact that I'm sitting here thinking Fuscovics can probably win a set probably means Jamie Munar is going to come out and just beast him in 2. So I don't know. Food for thought. Lean towards an over. Either one for the set. I don't suppose you could do much. You can't go much wrong with that. So the next one's going to be Medjedovic and Gio and Mpetshi Perricard. Oh, can't wait. Can't wait to watch this one. Can't wait to watch Medjedovic. Been fantastic this tournament. He really has. Gio and Mpetshi Perricard, although, he's still here. You've got to give him his flowers, absolutely. Pedro Martinez nearly done him. He had such a tough time against Pedro Martinez. I don't really know how I feel about that, especially given it's the hard court. But he looked a lot better against Alexander Muller. Kind of called that one. Medjedovic has looked really good. He has had to play an extra game. He's yet to drop a set. Don't even think, has he even dropped a serve yet? Don't quote me on it. He may have done. I don't think he's went behind. I'm not too sure. He may have dropped a save once or twice, but for the majority of it, flawless. Fantastic. Too much. As Mark Knopfler says, the man's too big. The man's too strong. Shout out to Dire Straits. After Rindernes, Jacob Fernley, Gabe Diallo. Well done to you if you took Medjedovic. I had him for the set. We said he'd beat Gabe Diallo. I was pretty sold on that one. And beat him is exactly what he done. All in straight sets. I've been more than impressed with Hamad Medjedovic so far this tournament. As a matter of fact, he's been the guy who I've been most impressed with. Gio Mpetshi Perricard, not so much. This is it's a bit of a double-edged sword. This one, is it not? Because although it's kind of tough to predict, a match like this will always be tough to predict. But then on the other hand, it's actually quite simple. It's actually quite plain and simple. I think that I've just spent like half an hour talking about Jamie Munar and Martin Fuscovics. I feel like I could easily talk about this one for just as long, but the story remains the same. When Gio and Mpetshi Perricard is involved, it all comes down to the serve. All comes down to the serve, and it doesn't really matter who you are, how, where you're ranked, how good you are, how good you think you are, doesn't matter. Can't do much against that serve of Big Gio when it's firing. Unfortunately, it's just the way of the water. Same can be said for Medjedovic. He hits just as hard. He serves, I don't know the exact numbers. Maybe he doesn't serve exactly as hard to the number. It's quite the task to beat Gio's serve power, serve speed. I know that, but Medjedovic's serve is still a lot more potent than the majority. It's a lot more potent than the majority, and if you've never watched them before, you may have watched them this tournament and you may have realised a few things. One, obviously, how good he is. He's a brilliant player. Really, really exciting talent for the future, in my opinion. When he's playing like this, he dips in and out, doesn't he? He sort of weaves in and out. But when when the going's good, with Medjedovic, I said it the other day, when the going is good with this guy, you've just got to take it. You've just got to take it, dog or not, doesn't matter. Kind of got to take it. But with that being said, I'm looking at the price, and you may be asking yourself, what is the price right now? It's sitting around 1.4. I do not like that. I do not like that at all. As a matter of fact, it's kind of pissed me off a little bit because I seen the draw come out, and I was like, yeah, Medjedovic, I'm gonna take this. This will be a match that I will happily sweat out the 3 sets, watching them just smoke each other out with the serve for Medjedovic to eventually win it in the end. 1.4. It's kind of put me off. It's zero value in that, if I'm being honest with you. But with that being said, also, like, that doesn't mean I'm automatically going to lean towards Gio because he's practically a 2-to-1 dog. Absolutely not. 1.4 is a bit steep for Medjedovic. A little bit steep. He may feel a little bit hard done by if you were looking at taking him. I would have liked this to have been split down the middle. Give me a 50-50 on this one. Absolutely no chance. I do think Medjedovic beats him. I think overall he's just a better player. Maybe not a better server, but everything else I think he does a hell of a lot better, if not just the same. I think he's better than Gio Mpetshi Perricard. I mean, who the fuck am I kidding? I mean, 26-13 on the season, 6-2 on the hard court, 8-8 on the hard court for Gio, 16-17. Medjedovic is better, end of. Same age as well. I think he wins. I wouldn't bet him to win, not at that price. But, if you're using it as a parlay piece, I wish you the best of luck. I wish you had the best of luck with that one. These have played each other once before. Let's not forget they did play each other earlier on in the season over in Barcelona on the clay. Medjedovic straight sets 7-5 and a tiebreak. Now, I remember that game very well. We did have money on Medjedovic in that one. 7-5 and a tiebreak. It's kind of a routine Gio Mpetshi Perricard result. Routine scoreline. There's always a tiebreak. There's always a 7. There's always a 7 involved with Gio. Medjedovic was just a lot better. I remember watching it. He had Gio on skates in them rallies, just running them ragged all around the court. That was on the clay. So I would like to assume Medjedovic is going to do more of the same, if not a bit worse to him on the hard court, providing he can implement his game. But I suppose the same kind of has to be said for Giovanni Mpetshi Perricard. I mean, he did have a close one with him on the clay. Doesn't like the clay. I would imagine, given the quicker conditions, given the surface, that Gio would probably have a better chance at beating Medjedovic today as well. Could make a small argument for both of them. I would be siding with me boy in this one. I'm a big Medjedovic fan. But at 1.4, it's killing me that. It's killing me. I could not advise any of you to take that. I wouldn't be taking it personally. As much as I'd want to, as much as I'd love to stick that on as a parlay piece, I think Medjedovic will win. I think he's better. I think the signs point towards Medjedovic getting this done. If not, lean towards yet another over. 1.4 is just a bit too steep for me. A bit too steep. I'm not that sure. I'm not willing to roll a dice on that number, folks, I'm afraid. So it would be a Medjedovic or not in that one. Lean towards an over. I imagine you'd get a better price on that. Very well, folks. We will wrap this shit up with Boo and Botte van der Sandschulp. Yet another banger. For the best today, you could say. I think we're in for a real treat as fans of the old game of tennis. Tip of the cap to Boo. It's got to be done. It's got to be done, folks. I weren't that convinced after the first match against Seng. And then even against Tsitsipas, weren't that convinced because Tsitsipas has been quite shit lately. But even still, that's a solid win. You have to give it to him. And then turned up against Navone, done exactly what I knew he was capable of doing. Straight sets in his last 2 games. Boo's looking dialed in at the moment. Boo looks fucking dialed in, if you'd ask me. Van der Sandschulp, I mean, look, he's still here. It's been anything but easy. Anything but easy for Van der Sandschulp, excuse me. I mean, he barely got past Adam Walton. Easier time out against Arnaldi, and then that match against Sebastian Baez, all over the place. He was all over the place against Sebastian Baez, even though he did manage to pull it back and get the win. He got bageled in the first set, and then a 6-1 in the second, then a 6-4. That's scruffy, that, innit? Very sloppy indeed. I mean, a win's a win. That's all that matters. We always say, that green tick is all that matters at the end of the day. However, you go about your business is entirely up to you. But I think, trying to think ahead, trying to think how this one's going to go. I think I would have to go with Boo in this one. I would have to go with Boo. Now, he's been far from consistent, anything but consistent this season. The only thing he's been consistent with is being very inconsistent, But as Van der Sandschulp, he ain't exactly brimming full of consistency either, Kind of come in flashes, don't they? Kind of come in flashes. They play good when they play good, and when they play shit, they play shit. And now they play against each other. And if I had to hazard a guess at this one, I'd say one of these are gonna play shit today. I would like to think we're in for a very highly contested game, very tight match. But I'm not too sure. I think Boo has looked so good. So good. You can say what you want about the opponents. You've still got to win. You've still got to turn up and beat them. And he's done exactly that. Same could be said for Van der Sandschulp. It's just, the fashion in which he has got past like Adam Walton. 6-2, he dropped that first set and then getting bageled by Sebastian Baez. I don't know about you. Do we think you can afford to give the current version of Boo a chance like that? I fear not. I think not. I think he's playing more like, quite similar to what we seen last season. Remember how good he was last season on the hardcore? Remember he just turned up, and most people, I remember people on the channel were like, who the fuck's Boo? Like, what the fuck is this? And he was just saving everyone up. He saved something up fierce that season. I'm willing to bet that he's kind of snapped back into similar form to the one that we seen him in last year. We know it's there. We've been saying that all year. If you're going to get him, if he's going to do anything, it's going to be on the hard court. The time kind of seems like it's now for Boo. It really does. Van der Sandschulp, he's one of them. I hate sleeping on this guy. I most definitely hate going against him, especially when he kills your bet and he turns up and plays like fucking Roger Federer. I would probably have to stay away from this, given what I know. Given what we've seen so far from the pair, as a whole this season, I'd have to say Van der Sandschulp has been a hell of a lot more consistent than Boo. Although Winston Salem could be the time. This could be the pinpoint in the season where we say, Boo just picked it up, and then he went on an absolute tear till the end of the year. Fantastic. I'm hoping we're sitting here in November saying something along the lines of that, when we get to or even when we get to Shanghai Masters, something like that. 9-11 on the hard court for Boo, and then 10-6 for Van der Sandschulp. The Dutchman has been much more consistent. He's been the much more consistent of the inconsistent pair. Dare I say a lot more trustworthy? I'm not going to say that because I don't trustworthy and Botic Van der Sandschulp do not go in the same sentence with one another. Either one for a set, I suppose, I'm even going to say a safe parlay piece. There's nothing safe about this. There's nothing guaranteed about this whatsoever. I imagine one of them's going to shit the bed. Someone's going to be let down somewhere. I imagine there'll be people taking Botic and there'll be people taking Boo. However you decide to go about your business, I shall wish you the best of luck. Maybe neither one of them are going to shit the bed. Maybe both of them will turn up and play just as good as what they've played so far this week, and we'll be in for a very interesting game of tennis. But with that being said, I would have to assume, even if they do both turn up, and even if they do manage to replicate the same sort of level that they've delivered so far in the Winston-Salem, I think just on the eye test alone, I think Boo may just have a little bit more in the bag to see this one through. He might just be in finer fettle. He just may. I would lean toward Boo. Don't know what to do with it total. Could go well under. Could be in for a very close one, back and forth. Boo for a set would be as far as I go on that one. Very well, folks, that is going to do us once again. Another day in the bag. US Open right round the corner. Very, very excited, I imagine you all are too. Well, thanks for stopping by. I appreciate you watching the show. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe before you go. I'd appreciate that too. And I wish you the best of luck. And I shall be saying good day to you. Have yourself a good one. Get yourself involved. Don't be shy. Anything I'm going for will be in that pinned comment. And you take care, yeah? You take it easy. You take care of yourselves. You take care of one another, most importantly. And I'll be seeing you around. Enjoy the matches today, and I'll see you tomorrow.